friends, this is Teresa at Teresa's Treehouse, and today I'm going to show you how to make a drink called golden milk. And it's so healthy for you, it'll give you so much energy, you'll be wound up like a top and people will be begging you to shut up. First thing you do is take some almond milk. I don't measure, I just put in how much I want. And then everything is just to your own taste. I use molasses because as sweeteners go, I think it's a pretty good healthy molasses. I always have a problem when I use molasses or honey, it drips down the side of the jar, so I keep it in a little cup and that catches the spills. So I just kind of eyeball it, put a little bit in. Oh, tablespoon and a half, I guess is good. And then the next ingredient is turmeric. Everybody's heard about turmeric by now. It's a great anti-inflammatory. I don't know, good for everything, I guess. Good organic cinnamon. I put a lot of cinnamon in. Another ingredient that I use is called ashwagandha. You can go online and find out all the health benefits of ashwagandha. It's another excellent herb. And I just let it heat up. And the molasses is really the only sweetener. And I used to have a little bit of a coffee addiction, and it really got to a point where I wasn't even drinking coffee anymore. I was making a pot of espresso and drinking that. And I started to feel like I was having a heart attack, and I wonder why. So I still do drink coffee, but I usually just have one small cup, and if I want something else hot during the day, I'll make this, or a cup of tea. So while this is cooking, I wanted to tell you a story about what happened last year. It's a very long story, so I'm only going to tell you the first part, and we'll continue as the weeks go on. But last year I turned 53, and I had an annual checkup, and it was all great, excellent health. But my doctor asked me if I had had a colonoscopy yet, and I hadn't, but some of my friends had just had their first colonoscopies, and they told me how easy it was, nothing to be afraid of, you're asleep the whole time, blah blah blah. So I agreed to have one, and yeah, so I did the whole thing, you know, drank the liquid that keeps you running to the bathroom all day long, and didn't eat anything. You are put under for a colonoscopy, so you have to have a ride home. So my oldest daughter drove me, and when I woke up from the anesthesia, the doctor told me I had 2 polyps. One was very small, and one was pretty large and difficult to remove. So he burned it out, and he tattooed the area in case there was any future problem. But they were both benign. So that's all good. But I came home that night. My daughter and I went out to lunch, and I was starving because you can't eat for 24 hours before a colonoscopy, so I was famished. But we went out to lunch after the procedure, and I had no appetite, and I felt really lightheaded, not very well. But I kind of figured, you know, you've been put under, have this procedure, so that's kind of normal. And I came home, and I had a big work day the next day, so I'd go to bed early. It was like 6 o'clock. I was like, I'm just going to go to bed. And so I put on my pajamas, I went in the bathroom to wash my face, use the bathroom, and sat down to use the bathroom. And the pain that suddenly went through me, like through my lower abdomen, it was like a lightning, like this gripping. I mean, I was in the bathroom screaming my head off, and there was nobody home. I was just alone, and I had no idea what was happening to me. Yeah, but it was bad. And I needed an ambulance, but I don't have a landline phone. I only had a cell phone, and I left it in the car, and I couldn't stand up. That's how painful it was. So I had to like hang onto the sink and like slither down to the tile floor and like just slither all the way down the long staircase out to my long dirt driveway. I mean, I live in the country. I gotta like, I'm on my hands and knees just crying and screaming. Got my phone. I was going to call an ambulance first, but first thing I did was I called the doctor who did the colonoscopy, and his answering service called me right back and told me to get right to the hospital. And I realized I could get to the hospital in 8 minutes if I drove myself there, but I live in a rural place, so it'd take like 45 minutes if I waited for the ambulance. Anyway, so driving there were like black bears and deer, you know, they're crossing the road all the time. It's like an arcade, and my hands are shaking, and I couldn't even sit. I was like, whatever was going on with me was so painful. I couldn't sit in the car. I had to like prop myself up with my left leg. Luckily, this car is in a stick shift, or I don't know what I would have done, but like prop myself up with my elbow on the armrest and steer. And I was crying, so I'm like trying to shake the tears out of my eyes. I got there, and the doctor came in, a different doctor, not the one who did the colonoscopy, but a different doctor came in and examined me, and he was like feeling around my abdomen. He said, you know, well, we're going to do a CAT scan. They gave me some morphine, so that helped me with the pain quickly. And he said he thought that I might have a perforation from that colonoscopy. So yeah, they did a CAT scan. But he said, typically with a perforation, your abdomen would start to distend, and mine wasn't. But my fever was sky high, blood pressure way down. So I was definitely having like a sepsis issue. And so they admitted me, and I was there for 4 days on antibiotics and pain medicine, thank God. And they didn't see anything on the CAT scan. So it was a little bit of a mystery. It wasn't really a mystery to me. I knew what was going on. I knew I had a perforation. They just couldn't see it. But what they told me was that sometimes if there's a very tiny perforation, if you just they didn't give me any food or water for the 4 days I was there. They said if you just like don't put anything through your colon and just bed rest, sometimes it can heal itself. And by day 4, I was feeling better. No, fever down, blood pressure normal. I was really, really feeling good. But the whole thing was so scary. Like I couldn't wait to get out of there anyway. It was scary. But yeah, so they discharged me because everything seemed normal at that point. So I don't know anything about perforations, or at least I didn't. So I went home. And about a week later, I'm a long distance swimmer. I swim all the time. I was going to the YMCA to go swimming, and I was in the locker room putting on my swimsuit, and the perforation ripped open. So this is the first part of this story, and I'll tell you about part 2 in the next video that I do. I'll leave a little suspense. The good news is, as you can see, I'm still here and I'm healthy again, but it took a long, long haul, a lot of healing, a lot of miracles. So this is done anyway, and it's going to be terrific. So, yep, it's called golden milk. This is a little bit lumpy. Doesn't matter. So good. Cheers. Thank you for joining me. Make yourself some golden milk. And I'll see you back here. Bye.